What's up guys, Buddy here, and welcome back for another episode of Fault in New Vegas Honest Hearts. These last 3 episodes have been a little unconventional, but we're actually closing in on the end of the DLC here, so yeah. I think this is actually going to be the last part, excluding a bonus part I'm going to be doing next episode. So, without further ado, let's talk to Daniel.
I'm glad to see you're still with us. How can I help you?
I checked on everything in the valley, and got you the map of Grand Staircase.
I appreciate it. Well, that's it. This is all we need. Now all that's left is to quietly pack up and try to get out of here without being noticed. That's assuming that Joshua won't try to stop me. And that he hasn't talked you into fighting the Whitelegs, despite what I've said. Don't worry, I don't hold it against you. You're an outsider. Fighting seems like the practical solution. I'll tell you again. There's more at stake.
Whether you decide whether the Sorrows should fight or flee, your decision will set their destiny irrevocably in motion. You will be unable to finish any remaining quests in Zion once you make your decision, so choose wisely. I think Joshua's right. We should fight the Whitelegs. We should fight the Whitelegs. The dead horses. The Sorrows should stay out of this.
No. Why? Why? Haven't you seen enough of what's going on here to see that the Sorrows don't need to butcher the Whitelegs for a piece of land?
I agree.
What Joshua wants is more than an attack. He wants a slaughter. And he needs more than you and the dead horses to do it.
That's
the
not
Sorrows
true.
can't be pushed into this. You and Joshua don't have the right to force them into it. Please, consider what I'm saying.
Literally, I'm strong enough to wipe out the Whitelegs on my own. With the Burned Man's help, we could destroy them. Why do we need the dead horses, let alone the Sorrows? Fair point, though. And you have the right to pull them off their land.
I've already explained to them that we're leaving. They've accepted it. What is Joshua going to tell them about being a warrior? What are you going to tell them about how to live with themselves after they got lost in the moment, killed someone who didn't deserve to die? Or does that not matter? Is that just an acceptable consequence if it means holding on to this valley? Maybe there is no place left in this world for mercy. But even if it tramples me into the dust, I will never accept it. And I will never condone it. Joshua must be waiting for you. I'll stay here with the others as I told them I would.
Waking Cloud has returned to the Sorrows camp. I have lost Waking Cloud's perk. And she wasn't carrying any of my stuff.
Thank you for this. I know Daniel doesn't approve, but destroying the Whitelegs is the only way to ensure the Sorrows can remain in Zion. You and I will lead a group of Dead Horse warriors and Sorrows hunters into 3 Marys from this position. Our objective is to find the Whitelegs leader, Salt Upon Wounds, and prevent him from fleeing. Show no quarter to the Whitelegs we come across. Make no mistake about why we are here. This is an extermination.
Let's do it.
God be with you.
Joshua Graham has given you the Way of the Canaanite perk. Yes, he becomes your companion. While Joshua Graham is in your party, any 45 caliber auto pistol you use has less spread and is twice as likely to score critical hits. And yes, he will pistol whip people. Yep, Joshua's pistol whipping 45.
Fine. If that's your style, I can adapt.
Or he'll also use... it just says that. He's using a unique weapon, which we'll get into later. But, yeah. So, Joshua Graham is your companion. He is awesome. He's the Burn Man. He tends to get stuck on rocks. You probably won't have him for that long, but he's still awesome while he lasts. So, this is the quest. This is the quest line where we go and wipe out the Whitelegs. I'm going to be showing you the other quest line next episode. But this is the one that's going to be canon in our series, alright? So, you need to head down to... The quest just basically says find Salt Upon Wounds. You need to head down to the 3 Marys and the 3 Marys cabin. So you cannot fast travel. Once you've activated this quest, you cannot fast travel. So be aware of that before you start the quest. You have got a bit of a travel journey ahead of you. Remember that. Joshua's pretty good in a fight, but why is he pistol whipping people?
Naturally.
Because I told him to, I guess. I love how he pistol whips people. This is...
Die where you stand.
He's also like... He's literally the Burn Man. He's literally burning.
Naturally.
He's not...
No
he's
thanks.
literally not using a light shining in darkness, which is the weapon he's supposed to be using. Great. That's just... Ooh, that's an expensive weapon. Nah, not worth the weight.
No thanks.
He will refuse to talk to you and refuse to, like, trade items with you.
Yeah.
So if he's being a dick and not using a weapon, then you can't give him one. That's a good strike. Okay. So, yeah. Let me quickly talk about the story here, because I am a little frustrated about the way this has gone about. Literally, look at me. Just look at me. I can deal with the white legs, okay? I guess, I'm having trouble with them on occasion. But I got like 1,000 stim packs on me right now. Actually, how many do I actually have? 245. 245 stim packs. I'm a badass, okay? Not only that, I have Joshua Graham with me. Okay, we do not need Sorrows to help us with this, okay? This is one of the most frustrating things. I don't think they should have fled Zion. I think that's ridiculous. I think it's their home. They should... I just took a fire axe after. That's hypocritical of me. I don't think they should flee Zion. I think this is the place they should remain. And also, I think we should be wiping out the White Legs here. It's a direct trade route for Happy Trails and for, I'm sure, a lot of other caravans up to the north or the northeast or through the east that isn't controlled by the Legion. And we can't have raiders on this place the entire time. We need to wipe them out, and that's what I'm doing here. But at the same time, I don't think the Sorrows should be fighting them. Why can't the Dead Horses just have a deal with the Sorrows that they fight the White Legs? And me and Joshua will do our best to just wipe the White Legs out here. And if any, like, stray White Legs come back, if they ever do, then why can't the Dead Horses just take care of it? I don't understand why the Sorrows have to learn to fight. I think there's other ways around it. But that's one of my very few problems with the story. With, like, few plot holes with the story of this DLC. I have problems just fundamentally with the fact that I just don't like it. But plot hole wise, it's pretty solid. Okay.
Prepare to meet your maker.
By the way, if Joshua has his pistol, if he's using his actual pistol, which he's not doing for me now, which is really annoying. But if he actually was using his pistol, he is a bit of a beast. But he does, like I said earlier, he does tend to get stuck on rocks quite a bit, so you end up losing him. As do the other companions in this DLC, to be fair, but obviously with the other companions you can just fast travel and they're back in your party, whereas with Josh, you can't fast travel at any point that you have him, I think, unless you like mod him into the game, which would be interesting. Actually, I've never seen Joshua Graham as like a modded companion. I'm sure it exists. It's probably a very simple mod. Yeah, but I've never seen Joshua Graham as a proper companion you can take back to the Mojave. It'd be cool. I want to see if anyone scripted that, like with dialogue options and stuff, so he reacts to the Mojave. I doubt it, but it wouldn't be that much work to put a really good Joshua Graham companion mod into that. Because I mean, most of the files already exist. I mean, he's here as our companion. All you need to do is open up his inventory, give him a few lines of dialogue, which obviously voice acting would be. Voice acting, in my opinion, would be the biggest problem. Because either you have to redo his entire voice acting, not give his new lines voices, or find a voice actor that can capture this voice actor's fantastic job of Joshua Graham. That's something I should talk about now, actually. Joshua Graham's voice actor is extremely good. Almost all of the DLCs, in my opinion, got really good voice actors, especially these first two. And the last one. Actually, yeah, 3 of the 4, I think, had exceptional voice acting, and the other one's my favourite, so we'll talk about that when we come to it. But 3 of the 4 had exceptionally good voice acting casts. Very unknown actors, too, I think, for, Dean Domino in Dead Money, and Joshua Graham in this one. I also think Follows Chalk's voice actor does a good job. I think a lot of the tribal voice actors do a good job. I don't like their dialogue. I don't like how it's written, but the tribal voice actors do a really good job of capturing the essence of like a tribal habitat. I do like the voice actors in this DLC, but Joshua Graham specifically, I'm not sure who it is. I'll before I do my honest touch review, I'll look into who the voice actor for Joshua Graham is, but he does a sensational job, and much like most of the game, they do a very good job of directing the voice acting. The way he does his voice acting is extremely good. and the emotion he puts behind it, and it definitely fits the backstory, so that's something I should mention now. Maybe I should just give a brief overview of what I felt about Honest Hearts as we're walking through here. Obviously I'll be doing like a formal review, but in general I just want to talk about why I didn't like this DLC as much. First of all, I didn't think the difficulty actually fit with the story. I didn't think these tribals should be doing as much damage as they should. And I also don't think they should have these awesome weapons. The shish kebab, fair enough. I think it kind of fits. The shish kebab kind of fits the white leg lore and philosophy. Probably stole them from Spanish Fork. I think there should be a lot more Thompsons, a lot more 45 auto submachine guns, because obviously the backstory behind that is that the white leg stole them from Spanish Fork, and they became their signature weapon. So, you know, that little piece of backstory is admitted really early, but we don't see enough of these Thompsons, I don't think, on the white legs. We see a lot of anti-material rifles, which I think is ridiculous. Not only is it overkill for me, I just think it's... I just don't think that they should be having them. Alright, sneak is a lower skill, that gets up to 50 without a doubt. What can I put 5 into? Well, guns is being used more than any of our other weapon skills right now, so I should definitely up that. And there you go. That's level 33 for you. So yeah, I don't think the white legs, 1, should have anti-material rifles, because 2, 1, I don't think it's lore friendly, and 2, I don't think they should have them because I just think it's overkill for tribals. They shouldn't be doing this much damage. In this DLC, the white legs do a lot of damage, alright? I've had to go through a lot of my... Oh, by the way, I bought the weapon mods for most of the weapons, so the Thompson now has a round drum. Yeah, I think the white legs do way too much damage for what they are. They're tribals, and I know they're good, they're powerful tribals, they're a very powerful tribe, supported by the Legion. They've robbed a lot of weapons from Spanish Fork. They've had a fabled history of salvaging weapons and ambushing traders on the way. I think they do more damage than the NCR bloody does in the main game, and I think they're one of the most high damaging enemies in the entire game. I mean, I've gone through almost 100 stim packs, probably less than that, but I've gone through a lot of stim packs in this DLC, and I always do, because they do a lot of damage. Fair enough, the Yaoguais, they do a lot of damage, that's cool. Yaoguais have always been high damage. You're really creepy. The Yaogwai meat gives you a damage boost. It works. The Yaogwai thing works. Cazadors are Cazadors. Cazadors are meant to be OP. Fair enough. But the white legs, I don't think the white legs should have been the main focus of the DLC. I don't think well, the main focus enemy. I hate them. I dislike fighting the white legs. In almost every portion of this DLC, I dislike fighting them. And I think that's one of the main reasons why I dislike this DLC, is I just think the main type of enemy you fight in it is the white legs, and they're they're boring, actually. You see a lot of the same types of enemies, and I just don't like fighting them. If the DLC had been like, oh, well, we're going to see a couple of white legs along the way, and you got to fight Cazadors and Yaoguais, and be very stealthy along the roads, and have to deal with that, then fair enough, okay, I would have enjoyed that a reasonable amount. But not white legs. White legs, they don't interest me. So yeah, the enemy type, I just don't like the enemies in this DLC, as I get incredibly poisoned. Right, so enemy variety is out of the way. I think that's one of my main problems with the game. Now, as for the storyline, the main storyline we'll talk about now. As much as I don't like the vibe and the feel, the mythos is alright, okay? I like the idea of Christianity surviving. Well, actually, I don't like the idea of Christianity surviving, but I like the feeling that Josh gives off of redemption and things like that, with the Caesar's Legion history and things like. And I keep saying things like that, but I do like that history. But at the same time, I just don't think they tell us enough. I don't think there's enough story there in the main story for me to really care. And it gets into a very similar situation with Fallout 3, in which case I just don't care about the main storyline at all. And that actually happened with this DLC. Oh god, the lake is gone. This actually happened with the DLC almost every time I play it. Even this time where I'm paying specific attention to the storyline, I still don't give much of a shit about the main storyline. The main storyline is extremely weak, one of the weakest stories in this entire game, DLCs included, and I just don't think there's enough there. I really don't. Like, the story of the character doing what he needs to do in Zion, in my opinion, is just incredibly lackluster. But then there's the side stories, the history of the Sorrows and the history of the father in the caves, right? I'm not sure. We don't get enough about the White Legs, honestly, to say that's a good story, and we don't get enough about the New Canaanites, honestly, to say that's a good story. But the Sorrows history and Zion's history, that's pretty damn awesome, to be fair. And what it lacks in main quest storyline, it almost makes up for in its side story extravaganza. It's one of the best side stories in video games, right? I think we talked about this in part 85, and it's worth playing for that alone. And I do think the story is a little behind perfect because I have to mark the side stories down for the fact that the main story is lackluster. But certainly the side story is a redeeming factor for this DLC. Let's talk about the weapons, the weapons that are exclusive to the DLC. The War Club is cool vibe-wise, it's just got a cool tribal feeling to it. The 45 auto weapons are awesome, no doubt about it. The Colt and the Thompson are cool. They're awesome. They've got this, they've got this modern feel to them, but they do have the lore behind it that make it feel really Fallout-y. And I'm really surprised they managed to pull that off as well as they actually have. So kudos to Obsidian or Bethesda, whoever wrote this storyline, for pulling that off. And the unique version of the... oh god. I guess we're not going in that direction. The unique version of the Colt is awesome. We'll talk about that later. And obviously the Survivalist Rifle, I can't...
This is taking too long. We can't let salt-upon wounds escape. I'm going to find a way around. God willing, we will finish this together.
Okay. Survivalist Rifle, the story behind it is perfect. I can't fault it. Same with the armor. It is... yeah, it's great. I think I've covered almost everything. Oh, She's Embrace. I like that. Oh, I like that side quest. She's Embrace. The Ghost of She side quest and getting the Yaguai Fist. I do like that storyline, and so I like that weapon as well. In general, the weapons you get from this DLC are pretty damn awesome. Compliance Regulator, Survivalist Rifle, Desert Ranger Armor, the 45 auto weapons, and the She's Embrace. All pretty solid in my opinion. There's not that many of them, but to be fair, every single one of those weapons are absolute quality in terms of lore, in terms of just in terms of the weapon itself. Quality, perfect. Not perfect, but definitely high quality and very nice rewards to take back to the main game. So yeah, I think that's actually about it. So in terms of final thoughts on Honest Hearts, thought the difficulty was a bit off, didn't enjoy the combat in this DLC too much. I also didn't think the difficulty fit with the lore. I thought the focus should have been on the animals and survival more on fighting the White Legs. There was a bit of an emphasis on survival, but just more of a let's hunt the animals kind of survival rather than let's make some stuff so we can go back to fighting the White Legs. The side story is amazing, the main story is weak, and in general, the feeling is alright. I don't like the atmosphere as much as I should have, but Zion as a place gives me hope for the future of the Fallout series. So, in general, I guess I give it a bit of a thumbs up, but you know, there are definitely portions that I would have improved on. That's Honest Hearts. I'm gonna do like a full objective review with a scoreline at the end of the DLC, and hopefully put that up at some point in the near future. I need to get the Dead Money one up for 2, which is recorded, just not uploaded. So yeah, Honest Hearts, decent. It's definitely worth the money. There's no doubt in my mind. It was worth the money when it came out for £10. It's worth the money when it goes on sale for like 0 pence. Buy it. Buy every piece of DLC for this game because it is cheap as chips when it goes on sale. There's no reason not to at this point. If you don't own this game, it goes on a Steam sale for under a £5. This is the Ultimate Edition, all the DLC. Almost every Steam sale. It's just stupid if you haven't picked it up already, and if you haven't, then just pick it up. I'm sorry, both of those Fallout games, when they go on sale, are both absolutely cheapest chips. I use that term so much, but genuinely, they're too cheap. They're a steal every time they go on sale. They've got so much content. As long as you're into the post-apocalyptic world, even if you're not into Fallout itself, you'll enjoy the 2 games enough to be worth your purchase. Like I said, it's not much money. Okay. I really do like this armor. I was watching Nuka Break recently, and I want to do some more research into that, because that was a really awesome fan-made show, I assume? I don't even know. It was really professionally made, but it was awesome. Genuinely awesome. And I was doing a bit of research into that, and I loved the way they did the Ranger in that series, and it's made me want to wear the Ranger armor more. But yeah, I want to do some more research into that to see if it's canon, to see if it's you know, who made it, how much money was spent on it, things like that, and if there's going to be more. Voice crack. There's going to be more of it. But I know they referenced it in Gunrunner's Arsenal, so I know that Bethesda are at least aware of it. So I'd like to look into that a little bit more. And I guess I'll end up talking about it later in the series when we get the weapon that references it. Because I like to mention trivia. So that's probably going to get mentioned at some point. I don't want to get into a massive rant because I know we're coming to the end. So I'm just going to carry on. And hope that the game doesn't interrupt me when I'm in the middle of like an important point or even any point. Well, I swear we're coming to... I've been thinking we've been coming to the end for a while now. We actually will be soon. Dead horses. You helping you? Oh, the Sorrows. I can see a Yaogwai fist over there. I just got decapitated. Sorry, Sorrows. Hey, I should fight with the She's Embrace. This weapon doesn't do any damage. It's probably because I got really bad unarmed. But then again, I've got the same unarmed as I do, like, guns. I think I got a little less now. But I've got it roughly the same. So, or do I? Did I, like, neglect unarmed? I might have. Skills. No, I got 50. So, I don't know what's going on with this. It probably requires, like, 75 or something like that. That's why it's not doing well. I do have good energy weapons, though. And this hollow rifle is still OP. But still, yeah, the hollow rifle's awesome. I'm going to keep this thing around for a while. I'm probably never going to get rid of the hollow rifle, I should warn you now. Alright. I think genuinely we're at the end. Right, before we go any further, I need to change my FOV back. I'll cut this out.
We warned you at Syracuse, and you persisted. You took advantage of us at New Canaan to drive us out, and like the dogs of Caesar you are, you followed us to Zion. And now you stand on holy ground, a temple to God's glory on earth. The only use for an animal in our temple is sacrifice. Kale wachane conserva o. You understand me, don't you? Don't you?
Outman. Kunaman mad. He killed all white legs. You talk. You stop.
Whoa, this is not what I signed up for. Let me talk to Joshua about this.
Him hear you. You talk.
Don't listen to this thing. His cries are those of a mad beast caught in a thicket. He gave no mercy to my family, and I will give none to his.
Joshua, you've already won. Look around you. There is no need to kill him.
He has a debt to pay for what he's done, and I've come to collect. And so he's chosen to cower in the water like a dumb animal.
If what you believe is true, he will pay for it later. The Sorrows don't need to see you do this.
I want to take from them what they took from me, from my family. In this life, I want them to suffer. I want all of them to die in fear and pain. I want to have my revenge. Against him. Against Caesar. I want to call it my own. To make my anger God's anger. To justify the things I've done. Sometimes I tell myself that these wildfires never stop burning. But I'm the one who starts them. Not God. Not them. I can always see it in my mind. The warmth and the heat. It will always be a part of me. But not today. Go. Get out of here. Go back. Back to the Great Salt Lake. That's it. It's finished. Thank you for staying with me. I couldn't have done this on my own. Let's go find Daniel. Tomorrow we'll be here soon. And there is much to do.
And so it was that the conflict between the New Canaanites and the Whitelegs was finally resolved. The courier's involvement had tipped the scale, shifting the fragile balance of power.
Demoralized by the Dead Horse and Sorrow's attack the courier and Joshua Graham led against them, the Whitelegs retreated to Great Salt Lake. Their days were numbered. Word soon reached the 80s tribe that the Whitelegs' spirit was broken. Their war chief a dim shadow of his former self. By year's end, the 80s would overrun the Whitelegs' camps, scattering the tribe to the winds and claiming the Great Salt Lake for its own.
The Sorrows fought beside Joshua Graham and the Dead Horses, eradicating the threat the Whitelegs posed to Zion. Seeing the courier convince Joshua Graham to spare Salt Upon Wounds, the Sorrows learned that retribution could be tempered by mercy. Though he despaired at the Sorrows' loss of innocence, Daniel took some small consolation in the courier's lesson, and prayed it would take root.
Having helped eradicate the Whitelegs from Zion, the Dead Horses returned to Dead Horse Point in triumph. They remained neutral toward the Sorrows, but as years went on, there were periods of competitive friction, even violence between the tribes. The New Canaanites, Daniel especially, intervened regularly as mediators, but found it difficult to reconcile the tribe's conflicts.
The defeat of the Whitelegs and Zion marked a turning point in the fortunes of the Happy Trails Caravan Company. Every 2 months, the caravan met with the New Canaanites in Zion Valley to trade. Happy Trails soon returned to prosperity. The vigilance of the Sorrows and Dead Horses in defending southwestern Utah, initially startling to Happy Trails caravans, soon proved a blessing. The tribes united against the 80s, driving them back from Highway 50, and thus opening yet another trading route for Happy Trails caravans.
Follows Chalk took the courier's words to heart and decided the big cities of the Mojave Wasteland and NCR were best left unexplored. Though he sometimes dreamed of distant lands, he continued to support his family at Dead Horse Point, and eventually, his wanderlust faded.
Waking Cloud was distraught when she learned of her husband's death, but took comfort from her tribe and the compassion of the New Canaanites. She forgave Daniel for having concealed her husband's fate from her, and learned to accept his fate. When her grief faded, she took a husband from the Dead Horse tribe. At her bidding, he stayed close to home.
The threat of the Whitelegs ended. Joshua Graham helped the Sorrows and Dead Horses tend to their fallen comrades and secure Zion. The courier's words had stayed Joshua's wrath in his darkest hour, and in sparing Salt Upon Wounds, he was changed. While he continued to advocate militant opposition to the enemies of New Canaan, he sometimes showed quarter to those who crossed his family. Eventually, this new spirit would diminish the myth of the burned man in distant lands. A small price for the peace it brought to Joshua Graham.
For years after the defeat of the Whitelegs, Daniel did his best to minister to the Sorrows' spiritual needs. Try as he might, he could not hold back the tribe's increasing militancy and reverence of Joshua Graham. Demoralized, he returned to his family and Dead Horse Point. His failures haunted him for the rest of his days.
And with that, the courier walked out of the history of the tribes of Zion and back to the gathering storm of the Mojave Wasteland.
The world has to completely reload after that cutscene. Next episode I'm going to show you how that cutscene is done. Anyway, that's the end of Honest Hearts. There's a footlocker here that has a load of unique stuff in it, including the weapon Josh should have been using in that final few moments. A light shining in darkness, a unique 45 pistol. I'll show you it now, actually. As well as Daniel's outfit and hat, as well as Joshua Graham's outfit and hat, Salt Upon Wound's helmet, Power Fist, Scripture, which I'm going to put in my house, and follows Chalk's headdress too. So before we leave, I thought I'd show all of this off. This is follows Chalk's headdress. It's actually quite cool. It actually goes well with the Ranger armor. It's got only 1 DT, but it ups your melee weapons. This is we'll put on the whole Daniel ensemble. Daniel's ensemble is cool. It's not great for armor, but it looks pretty damn cool. Joshua Graham's armor is quite cool. Let me just check Daniel's outfit gives you medicine and barter, and his hat gives you speech and perception. Joshua Graham's armor gives you critical chance, and Salt Upon Wound's helmet gives you critical chance and sneak. Sneak? Really? You can sneak with this giant thing on? Although it does look pretty damn awesome. And weapons, I think the only weapon we got was the Light Shining in Darkness, and Salt Upon Wound's Power Fist, which we'll show off in later episodes because we'll probably give it to Veronica. But yep, that's the Light Shining in Darkness. It's got I think it's got scripture on the side. Next episode I'm going to actually look up what the scripture says and stuff like that and tell you more about this weapon. But yep. Aside from that, thank you guys for watching. And I will see you guys next time.